Welcome to AI After Dark, where we shine a spotlight on the shadows, uncover hidden truths, and break down the stories that others are too afraid to tell. Tonight's headline isn't science fiction, it's our new reality. Fake leaders, real missiles. The deepfake war has begun. Right now, as you watch this, real bombs are falling, real people are in danger, and somewhere, someone is trying to control what you believe, using artificial intelligence to rewrite history, twist facts, and manufacture world leaders' words out of thin air. How do you know what's real? What happens when a viral video can start a war and no one knows who's telling the truth? In the next hour, we'll pull back the curtain on the June 2025 conflict between Israel and Iran, expose the deepfake disinformation that nearly pushed us to the brink, and reveal how this digital battlefield is changing the future of war and reality itself. So dim the lights. Take a deep breath. Because what you're about to hear is as real as it gets, and just strange enough to keep you up tonight. It happened suddenly. In mid-June 2025, the long-simmering tensions between Israel and Iran exploded into open warfare. On June 13th, Israel launched a massive surprise attack across Iran, a campaign dubbed Operation Rising Lion. Israeli jets struck more than a dozen targets, from nuclear facilities to military bases, with the stated goal of stopping Iran's nuclear program. The strikes were devastating. Iran reported nearly 80 people killed, including top military officers, and over 300 wounded in that first wave. Among the dead were some of Iran's senior commanders and nuclear scientists, a harsh blow to Tehran's leadership. Iran's response was swift and ferocious. Within hours, Iranian forces unleashed Operation True Promise 3 firing volleys of ballistic missiles and launching swarms of attack drones toward Israeli cities. Sirens wailed over Tel Aviv and Haifa as civilians scrambled for shelter and Israel's anti-missile defenses lit up the night sky. Both countries were now exchanging fire directly, something many had feared for years but is now a reality. By the conflict's fifth day, missile strikes had become a daily terror. Israeli officials said at least 24 people had been killed in Israel, while Iran's government counted 24 Iranian deaths and over 1,000 injured from the airstrikes. In a matter of days, the Middle East was on the brink of a wider war, with nations worldwide watching anxiously. But even as real missiles fell and real people died, another battle was unfolding, a battle for battleground truth. Under the cover of physical war, a storm of disinformation and deepfake imagery began to spread. This is the story of how a war in the real world became entangled with a war on our perception of reality. Missiles and misinformation. Emergency crews inspect a blasted building in Tel Aviv on June 16, 2025, after Iranian missiles struck the city. In the chaos of the first strikes, facts were hard to come by. Explosions rocked Tehran at midnight, including a direct hit on Iran's state television headquarters. During a live news broadcast, a thunderous blast blew out the studio windows. The startled presenter, who had been angrily condemning Israel on air, suddenly leapt from her seat and fled as the cameras kept rolling. Moments later, the screen went dark. Israel had hit the Islamic Republic of Iran broadcasting IRAB building, knocking it off the air. The Zionist regime, the enemy of the Iranian nation, minutes ago conducted a military operation against the Islamic Republic of Iran news network, an IRIB official announced once broadcasts resumed, but he insisted defiantly, "The voice of the Islamic Revolution and the Great Iran will not be silenced with a military operation." Iran's government blasted the strike on the TV station as a war crime and even issued threats against Israeli media in retaliation. The physical war was hitting the very channels that carried information, literally silencing the news, if only briefly. As night turned to morning, both nations' media jumped back into action, each side rushing to shape the narrative. And that's when the misinformation barrage began. Across social networks, dramatic videos and images flooded in, claiming to show scenes from the conflict. Fireballs erupting over Tel Aviv's skyline, Israeli jets crashing in flames, Iranian cities reduced to rubble. They were shocking, visceral, and spread like wildfire. There was only one problem. Many of them were fakes. Within hours, fact-checkers and vigilant journalists started pumping the brakes. One by one, viral war clips were exposed as fabrications. For example, a video that purported to show Tel Aviv's Ben Gurion airport in flames from an Iranian missile was revealed to be AI-generated. It had actually been created by a TikTok user known for making realistic-looking fake war footage. In fact, every one of the most viral conflict videos analyzed in those first days turned out to be artificial. According to a detailed analysis by Factly, all the videos were found to be AI-generated and were originally uploaded by creators who regularly share AI-made war footage on TikTok. When subjected to forensic tools, these videos raised immediate red flags. In one case, an AI detection algorithm gave a suspicious Tel Aviv attack video a 91% probability of being machine-made. Another clip, showing what looked like the city of Haifa ablaze, was flagged with 97% likelihood of AI generation. In other words, these vivid scenes of destruction were completely fake, conjured by algorithms, not actual missiles. What made these fabrications truly dangerous is how believable they appeared at first glance. The AI-made visuals were grainy and shaky, as if filmed by terrified bystanders. They showed familiar city landmarks under attack, lending them an air of authenticity. As a result, thousands of people shared them in panic, thinking they were real war footage. Some official channels even aired manipulated images on television, further blurring the line between truth and lie. The disinformation spread so widely that Israel's own military had to address it. The Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, publicly accused Iranian sources of circulating fake AI videos of damage in Israel to sow confusion and fear. In this war, propaganda wasn't limited to doctored old photos or exaggerated reports. It had entered the uncanny territory of deepfakes, where seeing is no longer believing. On the deepfake battlefield, as the physical battle intensified, a parallel deepfake battlefield was heating up. One of the earliest blows in this digital front came not from some random internet troll, but apparently from state-aligned propagandists. Back in April 2025, Israeli news watchers got a chilling preview of what was to come. During a nightly newscast, Channel 14 accidentally aired a video of former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant speaking with an odd, halting tone. Within seconds, the anchor realized something was off. "Stop the video! These are not Gallant's words, but AI," she interrupted, exposing the clip as a hoax mid-broadcast. The Gallant on screen had been a deep fake, seemingly planted by Iranian operatives to broadcast false messages in Hebrew. The incident foreshadowed a new kind of warfare, one where fake leaders would appear on screen even as real missiles fly. This episode, though in April, set the stage for the June onslaught of deepfakes. Fast forward to the current conflict, the deepfake tricks have grown bolder. Just days after the first strikes, a video began circulating widely in the Middle East, showing what looked like U.S. President Donald Trump speaking about the crisis. In the clip, which popped up on X, Twitter, TikTok, and WhatsApp, Trump appears to caution Pakistan to stay out of the Israel-Iran war. With a serious expression from behind the Oval Office desk, he says, "Pakistan should not get involved. This is Israel and Iran's war. We need peace in the region. That's a smart move." The message was clear, the American president telling Pakistan to back off and let Israel handle Iran. The video racked up millions of views across platforms in a matter of hours. It was presented in such a straightforward news style that many took it at face value. After all, President Trump had been weighing in on the war daily. Wasn't it plausible he might issue a stern warning like that? Yet this video too was an elaborate fake. Alerted by how fast it was spreading, fact-checkers jumped in to investigate. They quickly noticed subtle but telltale signs. Trump's voice in the clip sounded slightly robotic, his usual speech cadence missing. At one point, the word region came out strangely elongated and distorted. His facial expressions were a bit off, and his blinking didn't look natural. These were classic markers of a deepfake video. Impressive at first glance, but flawed upon close inspection. To be sure, analysts ran the clip through AI detection software. The result? One detection tool flagged it with a 98% likelihood that the video was artificially generated. There was more evidence too. A reverse image search revealed the fake speech was spliced into real footage from weeks earlier, a May 30th address Trump gave from the Oval Office long before this war erupted. In reality, Trump never actually said any of those words about Pakistan. As the fact check concluded, the viral clip is a deepfake, and Trump has made no such comment. When this revelation came out, it caused a mix of relief and anger. Relief that the US president hadn't actually thrown verbal fuel on the fire between Pakistan and Israel, but anger that so many people, including some media outlets, had been fooled by AI fiction. In Pakistan, where emotions were running high over the conflict, the fake Trump video could have sparked real-world consequences. It gave the false impression that Pakistan was being publicly scolded and sidelined, which could have provoked public outrage or rash decisions. Recognizing the danger, Pakistani officials swiftly stepped forward to debunk the hoax. Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar took the floor in a Senate session, holding up the clip as an example of malicious fake news. "We have checked that it was an AI-generated clip and it was fake," he firmly told lawmakers. Dar also pointed out that even a supposed statement by Israel's PM circulating online was misleading. An old video of Benjamin Netanyahu from 2011 was being shared as if he'd just threatened Pakistan, which was not true. Another deeply alarming deception targeted both Pakistan and Iran, a doctored video of a senior Iranian official named Mohsen Rezaieh. In that fake clip, Rezaieh appeared to say that Pakistan had promised to retaliate with nuclear weapons if Israel dared to nuke Tehran. This sensational claim, essentially invoking a nuclear response, was pure fiction, but it spread widely, especially in Indian media and on social platforms, where some amplified it without verification. Again, fact-checkers traced the video's origin and exposed it as a fraud. Pakistan's iVerify platform concluded the clip was manipulated and that the Iranian official had not made any such statement. The fact that a major newspaper in the UK, the Daily Mail, even picked up the story shows how far a lie can travel once it's loose. Foreign Minister Dar publicly rubbish the fake, fabricated video, calling it irresponsible and false news that had unfortunately gone viral. Each of these deepfake incidents, the phony Trump speech, the distorted Iranian official's threat, the misrepresented Netanyahu video, added new confusion to an already volatile situation. They were like phantom voices in the fog of war, fake leaders speaking with real authority. And they forced governments to divert attention from the battlefield to do damage control in the information space. Truth under fire, fighting the fog of war. Even as bombs fell, a parallel effort was underway. Journalists, fact-checkers, and officials racing to fight the fog of disinformation. In many ways, this conflict has highlighted how critical and how difficult it is to pin down the truth in real time. Both Israel and Iran understood that public perception could sway international support or condemnation, so controlling the narrative became almost as important as controlling territory. Teams of fact-checkers worked around the clock to debunk false claims circulating each day of the war. They traced viral videos back to their sources, finding, for example, that a terrifying video of a nuclear explosion in Israel was actually old footage from a 2015 chemical blast in China. Another widely shared clip claimed to show an Iranian submarine firing missiles at Israel. It turned out to be an unrelated old video, cleverly repackaged. Each time a new piece of dubious content emerged, experts had to act fast before it seeded too much panic. Authorities also took an active role in dispelling rumors. Iran's state media regularly warned citizens about enemy fake news being spread to sap their morale. Israel's military spokespeople used social media to point out fake images and to urge people to rely on official updates. In one televised briefing, an IDF spokesman showed side-by-side comparisons of real damage versus AI-fabricated images that Iran-aligned accounts had posted. The differences were subtle, slight mismatches in lighting, unnatural smoke plumes. But once pointed out, viewers could see the fraud. This kind of digital literacy became suddenly important for ordinary people trying to understand what was happening around them. Some of the most powerful pushback came from those caught in the middle of the misinformation crossfire. Take Pakistan's government, for example. Pakistani leaders found their country dragged into the narrative by lies. The fake Trump clip implying the US was warning them, or the fake Iranian quote implying Pakistan might go nuclear. This was dangerous territory. Pakistan's officials held press conferences and addressed parliament, not only to reiterate their stance in the conflict, but to explicitly call out the falsehoods. Foreign Minister Dar's voice at that Senate session carried a grave warning that resonated beyond his country. This is not a children's matter. This is a serious war like ours with India. In other words, spreading fake news in such a conflict is deadly serious business. It's not a game of internet trolls. It can inflame nations. Dar urged everyone to be careful and hinted at just how vigilant Pakistan's authorities were being, monitoring social media for new deceptions. His message underscored a new reality. In a 21st century war, governments must fight not just bombs and bullets, but lies and illusions. Meanwhile, global leaders and diplomats struggled to keep up with both the shooting war and the shadow war of information. The United States, under President Trump, walked a fine line. On one hand, Trump publicly called for a ceasefire, at least at first, saying he hoped Israel and Iran could strike a deal to stop the fighting. But as the conflict escalated, his tone hardened dramatically. In an address on June 18th, a visibly stern Trump declared he was seeking Iran's unconditional surrender. He warned that U.S. patience was wearing thin, and even let slip a menacing remark that while the U.S. had no intention to kill Iran's leader for now, all options were on the table. Those were real words with real weight, underscoring how high the stakes had become. Contrast this with the fake, pacifying words that the deepfake version of Trump was made to say, "We need to stop the fighting, not get in the middle." The irony is stark. In truth, the actual president was threatening Iran, not calming things down. If people had believed the deepfake, they would have essentially believed the opposite of reality, a very dangerous inversion. Elsewhere, other nations tried to mediate. Reports emerged that French President Emmanuel Macron was reaching out, suggesting the US had floated a ceasefire offer behind the scenes. Russia stepped in diplomatically, offering to host Iran's uranium to defuse the nuclear aspect of the crisis. Yet even in these delicate negotiations, deepfakes lurked as a risk. What if a fake video of one of these leaders saying something inflammatory leaked? It could shatter trust and derail peace efforts. Officials had to remain on guard against that scenario. For everyday people under the rockets, this war became deeply unsettling not only because of the physical danger, but because they weren't sure what to believe about it. They're truly afraid, one reporter said of the atmosphere among Iranian civilians, noting an undercurrent of panic as each new rumor spread online. In Israel, too, families huddling in bomb shelters scrolled through their phones, trying to sort real news from fake. Was a major government building in Tel Aviv just hit? Did the US embassy get evacuated? Did Iran really declare a ceasefire? One moment, a viral post would claim something dramatic. The next moment, an official statement would contradict it. The information war created a haze of uncertainty, even as people's very lives were on the line. To a new era of uncertainty. As the video title suggests, this conflict may well mark the beginning of the deepfake war era. The phrase, fake leaders, real missiles, is not just a catchy slogan. It's a literal description of what we're now living through. In this war, we have witnessed missiles crashing into cities, and alongside that, manufactured videos of presidents and generals trying to steer our emotions. That our battleground is both physical and virtual. And victories are measured not only in territory gained or targets destroyed, but also in hearts and minds swayed by information or disinformation. It's a sobering moment for the world. For the first time, a major global conflict is unfolding with AI-driven deception playing a starring role. The implications reach far beyond Israel and Iran. Every government, every military, every citizen watching this saga is learning in real time how the game has changed. No longer can we trust our eyes and ears, even when the stakes are life and death. In a fabricated video, Ina can nearly incite a nuclear-armed nation. A synthetic voice can momentarily trick a populace into thinking their leader has surrendered or issued a threat. The fog of war, that old concept describing uncertainty in battle, has thickened into an opaque mist where illusion and reality mix. Yet amid this dangerous fog, some light is cutting through. Around the world, journalists and fact-checkers are developing new tools and skills to verify footage in minutes. Tech companies are under pressure to detect and label deepfakes before they go viral. And ordinary people are hopefully becoming more skeptical of sensational clips that appear out of nowhere. All these are encouraging developments, but they feel like a race against time. Artificial intelligence isn't standing still. It's getting better, faster, and more accessible. Today's obvious lip-sync glitches and odd eye flickers in deepfakes might soon disappear as the technology improves. The next deepfake we see might be practically flawless. Will we be ready for that? For, in the case of this war, we have to wonder what's next. A ceasefire may halt the missiles, but what about the misinformation? Even after the guns go quiet, false narratives can linger for years, fueling hatred and mistrust. The conflict's legacy might be not just the physical destruction, but also a deeply poisoned information environment that makes peace harder to achieve. And if this is the opening chapter of the deepfake war, one shudders to think what future chapters hold. Will the next crisis involve forged emergency alerts from heads of state? Will deepfake diplomats announce fake peace treaties or declarations of war? One thing is certain. The lines between truth and lies have never been more dangerously blurred. We end this report not with neat answers, but with an urgent question that lingers like the last echo of an explosion. When the real and the fake collide in war, how will we, as societies, decide what to believe? It's a question we'll be grappling with long after the smoke clears on this conflict. The deepfake war has indeed begun, and the world must confront a stark new reality. In the battles of tomorrow, seeing isn't just deceiving, it could be deadly. If you made it this far, you know the line between fact and fiction is thinner and scarier than ever. Tonight, we've seen real missiles fly and watched fake presidents speak. We've heard voices of leaders that were never uttered and seen images that never truly happened. This is the new battlefield, not just territory, but truth itself. So, what will you believe when the next crisis hits? Will you trust your eyes? Will you trust the news? Or anyone at all? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share this video with someone who needs to see what's really going on behind the headlines. And if you want more late-night deep dives into the world's most urgent and unsettling questions, subscribe to AI After Dark and join the conversation. Stay vigilant, stay curious, and remember, sometimes the scariest thing about the future isn't what's real, it's what we're told is real. Good night. References. 1. Nitish Kumar Donge, AI-generated videos are being shared as real visuals from the ongoing June 2025 Israel-Iran conflict. Factly, June 18, 2025. 2. Dawn.com. Fact check by iVerify. Fact check. Trump, Netanyahu viral comments about Pakistan on Iran-Israel clash are fake. June 16, 2025. 3. Dawn.com. FMDAR rubbishes fake fabricated video of Iranian official about Pakistan attacking Israel with nuclear weapons. June 16, 2025. Updated June 17, 2025. 4. Agence France Presse Chart Reuters via Dawn.com. Iran state TV resumes programming after Israeli attack on Tehran. Trump reiterates negotiations. June 16, 2025. 5. Reuters, Ryan Chang. Trump calls for Iran's unconditional surrender amid Israel-Iran air war. Reuters World News, June 18, 2025. 6. France 24. Iranian and Israeli official channels broadcast fake images of the conflict. Truth or fake? June 17, 2025. 7. Elizabeth Vargas reports. News Nation. Iran posts fake AI videos of damage in Israel. IDF spokesman. June 17, 2025. 8. Associated Press via Los Angeles Times. Fake babies, real horror. False AI-generated images of the war in Gaza spark alarm. November 29, 2023. Contextual reference on deepfakes in warfare.